Okay, everyone, this video has to be made. This video is going to stir up some contention. It's going to be some people who are not probably going to like me because of this video, but I don't care. What is better, coilovers or ABC suspension on a Mercedes? We know the answer. We know what's better, but what's better is relative, right? It's depending on what you're looking for in these vehicles. We already know that active body control is a very well engineered, superior suspension regarding handling, comfort, reactive to road conditions. It doesn't lean when you are making tight maneuvers and turns. It doesn't require sway bars. A lot of engineering and money and time went into developing that system. It is a very good, very good system. They still use it to this day. I think a different modified version of it. But in concept, in theory, and in actual usage, it is very efficient, but not reliable. Because keep in mind that this was introduced into cars, I think, that suspension was introduced into cars in 2000, 2001, I think. It's on the S55 Mercedes. It's on the CL Mercedes, all CL models. And it's on all SL models except for the SL350. And I believe, like I said, it was introduced, the earliest model I've seen was, I guess, on a 2000 and, what year was that? I had a 2001 or 2002 S55 that had ABC suspension. And of course, on all the SL models after the body change, they all had the ABC suspension. And when they introduced the SL, all those had the ABC suspension except for the 350. Anyways, the comparison is ABC suspension and coilovers. We all know that the ABC suspension will fail eventually. You have to maintain, yes, the fluid, yes, the filter. The accumulators will start to fail. That bladder or whatever, the hydrogen or whatever, that does not last forever. The bladder will eventually give way to pressure, and they need replaced. If you don't replace those, then pressure builds up on the lines, every time you hit a bump. And then that leads to ruptured lines and connections. Also, O-rings fail, which allows seepage of the fluid, causing the car to sink low, or it should drop low after a couple, maybe a week or so of sitting. But it will cause it to no longer be able to hold pressure. The struts might not hold pressure. The valve blocks might not be able to hold pressure, and they will leak or bleed, causing the suspension to drop prematurely. There are many conditions that can lead to failure. The ABC tandem pump can fail. Like I said, any line can rupture. O-rings can fail. Dirty fluid can allow contaminants to go throughout the system. We have discussions all the time on forums, on YouTube, on Facebook. Just discussions about, is it smart to transition from active body control suspension over to coilovers? Now, I typically get personal, take that personal, because when people start to say, oh, you're stupid, or you can't afford to maintain it, then you shouldn't have it, you should go drive a Hyundai, all them type of comments, I get kind of pissed. It has nothing to do with money, being able to afford to maintain that system or not. It's the choice. Do you want to maintain that system or not? Because if that system prevents me from jumping in my car and being able to drive that thing wherever I want to, as far as I want to, then what do I have the car for? Because that's dumb. Any car that you have, you bought it so that you can drive and enjoy it. Yes. Nothing is better than ABC suspension. Nothing is better than being able to drive it the way that it was designed to be driven, right? The purpose of that suspension is to drive it in the most comfortable way. It's a luxury. It's an asset that few cars on the road have. It makes that car unique. But this is 2020. It's about to be 2021 in a few days. Why am I trying to maintain a 17-year-old system that can fail at any time? I got stories for days. I have stories for days of me and other people who I know personally who were driving their cars, and all of a sudden I get a phone call saying that the red light came on, the ABC light. You know what I'm talking about, the ding, the ABC light. You know what I'm talking about. It came on, it failed, and now they're stuck on the side of the road waiting to get a tow truck to drive back home. How embarrassing is that? These are not Honda Civics. You dress up nice to drive these cars, right? Huh? You put on your nice shoes, your nice clothes, huh? You might have your lady with you in these cars. And now you stuck on the side of the road waiting for a tow truck to come pick you up in the rain. You know what I'm saying? All because you want to maintain that system. That's cool. But you also have to be prepared for failure. You have to be financially prepared, emotionally prepared, mentally prepared. It sucks. When this system fails, it sucks. It pisses me off. So that being the case, the pros and cons of the ABC system. We already know the ABC system is beautiful. It's off the chain. We've already covered that. It does what it's supposed to do. When it does it very well. But when it fails very bad. Now, if all I had was one car with the ABC system and I didn't mind the unexpected occurring at the most inconvenient times, and I chose to maintain that system, to put the money and the time into it, I didn't mind towing it if it's something beyond my control. If I don't mind having parts on hand, maybe an extra tandem pump for when that goes out, maybe extra accumulators, maybe extra lines, extra, just parts, valve blocks, O-rings sitting around, a bunch of Pitocin fluid or whatever, laying around just in case. That's cool. If you like the smell of Pitocin, whatever, hydraulic fluid, if you like that smell, and you don't mind dealing with that every so often, you don't mind parking your car when you're out and about and looking for leaks every time you get out the car, that's cool. Keep in mind those lines are old. They will rupture. Keep in mind, you keep that fluid clean, it's still mechanics. Things still happen. It's still a very, very, very high pressure system. Things can and will happen. That's cool. If you choose to do that, cool. I did not choose to do that. I've had four ABC suspension Mercedes that I chose to do coilovers on. Now, let's get into that. My 2003 SL has Silver's Neo Max adjustable coilovers. I love them. And so that's why I take it so personal when you ABC guys and purists is what I call you guys. You guys are purists because you always say, I like it factory. I like it OEM. I like it the way it was. Mercedes engineers, you're not smarter than them. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so I drove this thing around all day today. Flying, highway, road, whatever. I love this car, man. Love it. I modified it, I guess, with the aftermarket wheels. I put the Neo Max adjustable coilover suspensions on there. I adjusted to my liking. I have it lowered, sitting just where I wanted to sit. I've added an amplifier and subwoofer to it, Bluetooth. This car is phenomenal, man. Hardtop works flawlessly. No issues, no leaks. I swapped out the tandem pump with well, you already know if you watch my other videos, with a regular power steering pump. This car is great. Super reliable. I had no issues, no problems with it. Anyone who sees it doesn't know that it doesn't have ABC suspension. They just know that it's a beautiful, bad-looking car. It look like a silver bullet. Sexy. So sexy. And at the end of the day, all I want to do is be able to jump in this car and drive wherever my destination is safely and comfortably. And it does all that with coilovers. Unless you've done the coilovers and you knew what you were doing and you did it yourself, and you know how to properly adjust it, then you can't really tell me nothing. Unless you've done it yourself and you know what you're doing, you can't really tell me nothing. Other than you choose to do otherwise. And that's cool. But oftentimes, if you rely on somebody else to do this right here, this conversion or this swap, and you don't like it, and you say, I hate coilovers, well, maybe you chose the wrong person to do it. Maybe you chose the wrong coilovers. Maybe you should just stick with the ABC. You know? In my case, I choose coilovers. This one right here, the CL55, you already know I've done a whole lot of modifications of this one. But this one right here, when I got this car, the ABC worked just fine. I wasn't having any issues out of it. But keep in mind that 2 cars prior to this, I had issues with the ABC and I swapped them out. So when I wrecked this car, it had the front end damage, one of the lines got crimped. I knew that I needed to replace that line. And I knew once I opened up the system, there's no telling what might happen. I didn't want to go through that. Plus, I was putting so much money into the car, into the modifications that I wanted to do with the wide body kit. I know that when I do a coilover suspension swap, you're going to have excess money. You're actually going to make money off of that swap because the ABC components are worth more than what this coilover suspension swap is going to cost you if you do it yourself. If I were to pay somebody, I might break even, I might take an L. But anyways, the Yellow Speed Racing coilovers is what I did on this car. And it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. When I first put it installed it, of course, I noticed the difference. It tends to have a little bit more reactive response, I guess, to big dips and bumps. And so I had to constantly adjust the dampening settings in order to minimize that. You know that you don't have sway bars on this, yet this car is heavy and it handles very well without sway bars. I'm not telling you that that's the safest way to go without sway bars. I know that with sway bars, it will stiffen and calm down some of that reaction. But I have, with the dampening settings, I have it set very nice where I drive this thing very comfortable, minimum, whatever I call that, when it kind of reacts and dips too much or whatever. I minimize that. I have to be careful with that because this body kit is fiberglass, so I cannot have my wheels hitting fenders. So I had to stiffen it up in the front, and the back is less stiff, and it creates a very, very good ride. Yellow Speed Racing coilovers. We've had discussions online. Some people love them. Some people say that the spring rate is a little too soft. It seems like they keep adjusting that. I can't remember what my spring rate is, but I know it's good. It's very good. I don't know which one is better between Yellow Speed coilovers and Silver's Neomax. They both are good. But each car has its own characteristics. I have no complaint. I am a coilover fan. I have another friend of mine who has an SL500. His suspension keeps giving him problems, and I suggested to him to do a coilover swap. So I might make a video on that one if I do the swap for him. But again, the reliability that comes with coilovers, there's no comparison. For those who say that you shouldn't do it, let it be based on experience, not just some stuff that you've read or some stuff that you thought of or some stuff that you've heard. If you haven't done it yourself, then you're not really speaking with experience. For those who have done it and still don't like it, we all have our own preferences. Why I own my car might be different than why you own your car. I don't know. It's just everybody does what they want to do, but I don't hate anybody who chooses to keep it. I don't hate anybody that chooses to remove it. The choice is up to you. So, be respectful and stop judging other people for what they do to their cars. If it was your car, you would do otherwise. It ain't your car. You do what you want to do with your car, but don't tell somebody else what they should or shouldn't do with their car. Either try to help them or congratulate them, but don't hate on them because that's dumb. That's like me telling you what to put on tomorrow when you go to work or when you go to school or whatever you do. I don't tell you what to do and what not to do. I might make suggestions and say, hey, I think this will look better. I think this might work better for you, but at the end of the day, it's your choice, man. So when it comes to these cars, there's a lot of options, a lot of choices. Some people get rid of the ABC and go with the air ride. They install an actual air ride suspension in their car. And I'm not talking about airmatic. I'm talking about an aftermarket pneumatic suspension. So there's a lot of options with these cars. You're only limited by your imagination. Yeah, Mercedes, they engineered a beautiful automobile, many of them. But it's up to the owner to decide what they want to do with their car. This car can be modified and driven in a lot of various ways. It can be made to how you want it to be within reason. Just make sure that you're safe. Make sure that you do your due diligence, your research, and enjoy your car, man. All right. Until next time, talk to you later.